Last week, we talked about a really nice story here in our headline segment out of Royal Oak, where a longtime volunteer left a lasting impact with one final donation to the Royal Oak Public Library upon her passing in February. It was a beautiful article from the Oakland Press, and now joining us to talk about that donation, as well as the individual behind it, is the director of the Royal Oak Public Library, Sandy Irwin, with us on the Megacast. Sandy, thanks for being with us today.
Thank you, Tyler. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, glad to have you on as we talk about Victoria Dickinson. This is the individual who, on February 15th, had passed away at the age of 98. But while she was with us, and for a long time, many of those 98 years that she was with us and in the Royal Oak community, she always loved her local library and volunteered her time there. And so let's begin by talking about Victoria's legacy of volunteerism and helping out at the Royal Oak Public Library. Just how much of an involvement did she have in the library over the course of many years?
Well, I did some research before this interview to find when she had started on the library board. So there was a lot of old binders of old meeting minutes, and found that she had started volunteering on the library board in May of 1991. For many of those years, she served as the president, and then her last meeting was in December of 2006. So that's 15 years on the board, with the majority of those as president, which is a lot of time for somebody to spend volunteering for an organization that she was clearly passionate about.
Yeah, and giving back was something that was always something that was important to her. It had been reported in this article that I first heard about this and from Mike McConnell at the Oakland Press. You mentioned to him that she had put in over 8,000 hours of service as a pharmacist at Beaumont, and that's in comparison to the probably thousands of hours too that she also put in of service at the Royal Oak Public Library. And so that idea of service was so key in Victoria Dickinson's life, and it extended out to after her life as well. As you can see if you're watching at the bottom of the screen, a $50,000 donation was made from Victoria's estate at the end of her life to the Royal Oak Public Library. And while public funding and donations play a big role in this, an endowment like this to the library can certainly go a long way.
It certainly can. As you mentioned, volunteerism was just critical to the person that she was. You said 8,000 hours of volunteerism over at Beaumont. She trained thousands of volunteers. One of the things that was really important to her was education. She was always encouraging people, particularly if they were in tough circumstances, to continue their education. And she encouraged people to use the Royal Oak Public Library and use the resources that are available. It was really important to her that people knew that the resources were there for them and that it was free to people who live in Royal Oak. And it extends out all throughout the network that we're involved in. So all of those things were really important to her. And what a fantastic gift to leave for us. And thinking about, it's $50,000. What do you do with that? We need to take a lot of thought and consideration as to what we want to do with her donation, because she had a very lasting impact on the community through all of her work, not just at Beaumont, but at the library. She headed up the original millage campaign when the city was having some rough times with finances, and they said, okay, library, see if you can get a millage passed. And she headed that up, which has given us stable funding since the early 2000s. So this gift needs to be used in a way that's going to impact people. And I'm not sure what that is yet.
Yeah, but there's already so many different ways that our local libraries do impact the community each and every day, and gets confused in our modern days because of the expansion of technology, because so many people are able to use technology and are so literate in using technology to find information that some do question the validity of libraries in our communities. But they do provide a number of services to people of all different ages all throughout the year. That includes in Royal Oak. So how important is the library, even in today's society, especially in today's society, for helping people connect to information in their local area?
It's extremely important. When you are considering information, we all think that we know what's correct and what's not correct. And we're dealing in a society that is just bombarded with misinformation. The library can help you find resources that to show whether or not something is valid. You don't want to cite a source and not know where that came from. It's really important to understand the difference between just information that's spewed at you and information that is valid. The library can help you do that. And I know you mentioned that lots of people have access to technology. Well, it's not always the case. Many people come to the library because they still need access to the internet, to software, and to assistance with all of those things. That's why libraries still have computer labs. That's why we check out laptops and hotspots so people can take them home and use technology at home, because a lot of people don't have those resources still to this day. So wading through the misinformation, finding those valid resources, and then access to technology and Wi-Fi, those are all really important things that libraries provide. Libraries also provide access to ebooks, e-audiobooks. So if you are tech savvy, you can have access to those. We have just hundreds of thousands of materials available to you for free online. So you don't have to subscribe to a service. You can use the library service and have access to so many different things. But like me, I still like a hardcover book. I don't like reading on screens, and a lot of people are trying to have time away from screens. So having access to popular materials through books is still very, very popular and really well-used resource of the public library.
And another great thing that libraries do, and not just in Royal Oak, but all throughout our communities here in Oakland County and beyond, is provide that information provide access to information in a number of different ways. You mentioned some of those electronic resources and resources that just simply connect people to things we take for granted, like the internet in today's world. But it's also providing access to events with guest speakers and about topics of interest in the community as well. And that requires a lot of work from people both in the library that work there each and every day, but also volunteers. And so as we bring it back to this very generous donation from the estate of Victoria Dickinson, $50,000 donated to the Royal Oak Public Library upon her passing in February. Bring it back to volunteerism and the ways that people can get involved in their local library and help their neighbors and help visitors coming in to Royal Oak if they're interested. What sort of volunteer opportunities are available through the Royal Oak Public Library?
Oh, there's a lot of opportunities. We take volunteers from ages 14 and up, and a lot of times the teen volunteers will help with develop with craft projects and getting things ready for our story times. Adult volunteers help with different things in the collection, making sure things are shelved in order, helping us do some research on maybe we're looking for some books that have been lost and misplaced on the shelves, those types of things. One of our big volunteer organizations is the Friends of the Royal Oak Public Library. They are our fundraising arm. So they hold book sales and do other things for us to help raise money. That all comes back to the library. They help support library programs. The Friends are always looking for volunteers. So they have a bookshop that is open 3 days a week, and you can volunteer in the bookshop. You can help sort through the myriad of donations that we receive every week to see if they'll go in the bookshop, possibly on the library shelves, or even to other organizations that are in need of those books. And then we'll pay the Friends for those books. So sorting through all of those things, there's so many different things that people can do to volunteer their time. The Friends are always in need of volunteers, and it's a really great organization that supports the library. So if you're looking to volunteer, go to our website, ropl.org, visit I Want To, and then volunteer, and you can fill out some forms, and we'll get started on your volunteer journey with the library.
As Sandy said, you can go to ropl.org and just go over I Want To and click on library or volunteerism, and you'll find plenty of more information as well as more resources from the Royal Oak Public Library. Again, ropl.org. RoyalOak.org for all the information you need to know about what's going on in Royal Oak, including at the Royal Oak Public Library. Joining us on the program is the director of the Royal Oak Public Library, Sandy Irwin, on today's edition of the Megacast. Sandy, a few more minutes with you. I want to give you an opportunity to let people in Royal Oak and surrounding areas know of any fun events coming up or things they should be watching out for at the Royal Oak Public Library in the near future.
Things they should be watching out for are the summer reading program. So libraries across the nation celebrate reading over the summer. It is for a program for all ages. It's designed to start for young people so that they don't lose the information that they gained throughout their school year. It's called Summer Slide, where suddenly you're not reading, you're not doing anything, and all that stuff that you learned last year trickles away. So if you're reading, studies have shown if you read over the summer, maybe 15 minutes a day, that will help you retain that information, but the library makes that fun. So we have events, you get prizes. On the 24th of June, from 10 to 1 outside in Centennial Commons, we will have a summer reading program opening day celebration where people can sign up for summer reading. Do a lot of different activities and events. It'll be a lot of fun. Summer reading starts in June and ends in August. You read, you can earn prizes. And like I said, it's for people of all ages, from children all the way through adults. So we're excited that people will be able to read over the summer and join the library for a lot of different fun activities.
You can find all of the information you need to know on those activities by visiting ROPL.org. Sandy, thank you so much for joining us today.
Tyler, thanks for having me. Have a wonderful day.